Steve, there's a feud going on between Bill Simmons and Kendrick Perkins over ESPN draft coverage. I actually think the feud is between Bill Simmons and Stephen A. Smith. This is kind of a proxy war. But here's Bill Simmons throwing some shade at Perk, and I think some of this will also include maybe a quick shot at ESPN's draft coverage. Play the clip.
Toronto took Colin Murray-Boyles, leading Kendrick Perkins. I didn't know which telecast to watch. It was like, do I take this samurai sword and jam it into my temple, or do I take this chainsaw and saw my leg off? I couldn't figure it out. They took Colin Murray-Boyles, and Perk said they have the pieces in their top 6 team in the East. And at that point, I started looking for a third ESPN channel, but there are only 2.
So you think that's a shot at the ESPN? You think, okay, just so we get that clear, you think that might be a shot. Okay.
I think it may be a shot. I think it might be. But here's Perkins reacting to that. And my initial thought was like, this is an overreaction by Kendrick, but I'm not sure if it is once I gave it additional thought. Play Kendrick Perkins' response.
Just leaving set, heading to this other event that I got to do, thinking about Bill Simmons, cupcake ass. Always got my name in his mouth, but I'm going to address you Sunday, okay? Believe that. I'm going to address you on my special edition, me only, yours truly, Sunday on Road Tripping, okay? They give me my spot, and I'm going to get on your ass like back pockets. Because I'm not tired of you. I don't know who anointed you, the preacher or king of the head honcho of overseeing basketball and way things need to be. Man, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done, period, in the game of basketball? Have you ever played? And I usually don't even address people because I don't even be really caring about it, but it's kind of pissing me off because you feel like you sitting on this throne. Man, shut up. You didn't think before you started drinking them Heinekens. And then you got your little peanut gallery up on the podcast who just agree, yeah, Bill, yeah, you're right, stand up. Man, shut the hell up. The hell you done. But I'm going to get more on your ass come Sunday. Believe that. I'm going to finish doing my research on you. Enough is enough. Like you some type of head honcho. You ain't no shot caller.
Tiny bit of an overreaction from Perk, but when I thought about it more deeply, I'm like, no, it's not. That NBA, ESPN, or ESPN NBA coverage, not just draft, but just ESPN's coverage of the NBA is under a lot of scrutiny. You got the TNT crew coming over, and there's a lot of people that's just been trashing ESPN's NBA coverage. And Perkins is probably just in survival mode and feeling like Bill Simmons is piling on and he's trying to cost me money and he's trying to undermine my career. So I get why Perkins is salty, but I don't believe Perkins is Bill Simmons' real target. Just your initial thoughts on that.
Well, I don't know about what you're doing on Sunday, but I've cleared off my day. I'm just going to let you know right now. So if you need to call or text me, just wait till Monday morning, okay? Just so you know. And by the way, when I first saw the video, I was thinking, wait a minute, do we have a street beef here? Because I'm thinking, as I say in boxing all the time, there's an old phrase, there are weight classes for a reason. Okay, so we're literally talking about probably a junior middleweight against a heavyweight. Slim Bill against Heavy K, that's a mismatch physically. So I want to see, and I'm actually curious to see how Kendrick deals with this from an intellectual standpoint. And Kendrick, just again, I don't want to get involved here. I'm Switzerland Kim. What has he done? Hey, he wrote the big book of basketball. That's what he's done. So just think on that there, Heavy K.
He did write the big book of basketball, and I'm one of the few people that read it in one day. I enjoyed it that much. Yeah, it's a huge book, though. It's maybe the longest book I've ever read. But Bill does have some credibility in the NBA space, and that's part of the reason why Kendrick Perkins is reacting, because Kendrick Perkins can say what he wants, but Adam Silver and people like that do pay attention to Bill Simmons. His brand in the NBA is that long. He's that passionate about the NBA. And so I get why Perkins is being sensitive here, but I also think Bill Simmons is being clever and a tiny bit coy. Bill Simmons sits back and says, ESPN really paid Stephen A. Smith $100 million to be the face of ESPN. And Bill's like, all that I did at ESPN? All the, and the way I know the NBA and sports in comparison to Stephen A. Smith, what I did as a writer at ESPN, they go all in with Stephen A. Smith at $20 million a year and kicked me to the curb. And I know Bill's been successful and the Ringer's been successful, and he's perfectly fine. And he probably is glad he's not with ESPN. But you still never let it go. And when you know how incompetent and overvalued Stephen A. is, it just frustrates someone like a Bill Simmons. And so his real target is Stephen A. Smith. Your reaction to my assertion of that?
I think there's some validity to it, but I will say this for those who are accusing Bill Simmons of piling on. Maybe he is, but Jason, this NBA draft coverage by that network has been universally panned. Just stating the obvious, like everything else, doesn't necessarily make you overly petty. I mean, if this was a movie, the ratings would be Gigli or the new Snow White. I mean, there's not a single person that I've read or run into that says, man, that draft coverage, that was insightful. Man, it moved quickly. It was well produced. The knowledge that I got, I really learned a lot about it's really one of the worst things. And I've only seen about an hour of it, to be honest. I was curious. It was an absolute train wreck. If it was a city, I have visions of Hiroshima after the bomb dropped and Nagasaki. It was a disaster. It was a bomb. So I get it. But to your point that Bill Simmons still has some ill feelings towards ESPN, I get it. I was only there for 2 years. I was a very small fish. I didn't like my experience the last few months. And when there's times when it's valid to take shots at ESPN, yeah, I'll admit, I don't hesitate.
I got it and get it. But part of my thing, and everybody is trashing ESPN's draft coverage. And people now, Alpha Announcing just wrote a piece talking about sports fans. We need a vacation from Stephen A. Smith. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, oh, this just dawned on you now? And why now? Why is it? Because now it seems like since Stephen A. Smith got his contract, it seems like everybody now is free to criticize Stephen A. Smith. Before he got his contract, the criticism was turned way, way down. There was no one arguing, not that I remember, maybe I missed it. Show me the article from Alpha Announcing that said, ESPN, what are you doing here? You're about to pay Stephen A. Smith $20 million a year? Really? This is crazy. What's he going to do? How much exposure are you going to give him to make that worthwhile? Never said a word. And that's how I connect this to what I was saying at the beginning. There was money being paid to promote Stephen A. Smith for the last 2 years as he fought to get this contract. Now that that money has dried up, people are now saying what they really believe.
I'm not that surprised that Awful Announcing didn't go with the headline that there is Stephen A. Smith fatigue. Now, with that being said, I was thinking about this as I was listening to you. And me and you have both done it. We've all been to all-you-can-eat buffets. But you know what all-you-can-eat buffets do? They make you into a glutton, and you get sick of it, and you end up not even liking eating food that you don't want. See, the one thing that people don't realize, when you go to a buffet, it's not only all you can eat, it's also what you don't want to eat. And you have to be able to have some discipline. But I actually have gotten the sense over the years, over about these buffets, that I don't want to consume too much. This term, less is more. But what is happening with ESPN and Stephen A. Smith, it's like you're going into a restaurant and they're making it all you can consume Stephen A. Smith, and now people want to vomit. And if you think you've had too much of Stephen A. Smith, wait till next year when he's on the campaign trail. That'll be fun.
It's funny. That's a great point you make, because what happens with Stephen A. Smith, in order for Stephen A. Smith to work, there's these side dishes that have to be brought along with him. And Kendrick Perkins is one of those side dishes. You can't put Stephen A. Smith out there by himself, or even they ended up running Mike Wilbon off of the NBA show because you can't put too much intelligence around Stephen A. Smith, because it'll make Stephen A. Smith look like more of a clown. And so you're right, it is a buffet and buffets are filled with all kinds of other, it's not like, it ain't quite Red Lobster and just, hey, here's a shrimp, and they've even taken the all-you-can-eat shrimp off the deal. But you make a great point. It's all the clowns that have to go along with Stephen A. Smith to make Stephen A. Smith work. You have to lower everything, and that's what's happened. They keep dropping Stephen A. Smith. Hey, here he is on NBA draft coverage. Here he is on this. Here he is on that. And it actually brings everything down. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.